The year is 2015. It's early spring, and in the stands sits a Yankees international scout 1,500 miles away from home with one goal in mind: to find the diamond in the rough. Less than 3 months ago, the Yankees took the international baseball scene by storm by successfully signing 10 of the top 30 prospects available, spending nearly $17 million in signing bonuses alone. Now, with their pockets feeling somewhat light, the goal was to find high-ceiling young prospects who would sign for cheap. With this in mind, the scout looked up from his clipboard to notice a skyscrapingly tall teenager had taken the mound. After another glance at his clipboard, he smirked. This was the guy he was here for: Freicer Perez, a freakishly athletic 18-year-old who sat under the radar due to his recent switch from infield to the mound. With reports of plus arm strength, the scout knew to keep the radar gun set aside for this guy. Can't have low battery hurt the readings, he thought. Within a few clicks, it was up and running, just in time for Perez's first pitch. Fastball, up and out, ball one. Just missed, but a very competitive first pitch. However, the scout didn't mark anything on his chart. He was too focused on recalibrating the radar gun after what seemed to be a clear misread. One strikeout later, he was all set again. Radar lined up, fully charged, and his clipboard in hand. Then it happened again. 100 miles per hour, right on the pixelated screen. Once again, the scout failed to mark a single box with his pen. Instead, the pen lied on the ground beneath the bleachers, never to be found again. This was the guy. Freicer Perez was the diamond in the rough. Hey guys, it's Brett with Baseball Prospect Analysis, and as always, I hope everyone is doing well. Today we are going to break down Freicer Perez and his short career with the New York Yankees. If y'all could please leave a like on this video if you enjoy it. It substantially helps my channel grow, and if you like watching short baseball documentary style videos like this one, make sure to hit that subscribe button for weekly uploads. With that said, let's get right into it. Freicer Perez was a 6'8", 190-pound right-handed pitcher out of Santiago, Dominican Republic. Physically, he was long and lean, but extremely athletic for his age. Mechanically, he was fairly solid, especially for someone who was quite new to pitching. His arsenal was extremely raw, but had oodles of potential. It was no question that he primarily lived off his fastball, and for good reason. Early in his starts, he would routinely hit the upper 90s or higher before dropping off to 95 mid-game. This was very impressive as he held his velocity quite well for a teenager new to the bump. Breaking ball-wise, he is well below average with a mid-80s slider and a low-80s curveball, both lacking movement and command. Surprisingly, his changeup was above average for his age, showing a fastball arm speed and plus command in the upper 80s. This was a rarity as most prospects excel with breaking balls early on and develop their changeup throughout their pro career. Overall, Perez hit a ceiling of a front-end rotation starter with plus velocity and a floor of a high-octane two-pitch reliever. This was enough to convince the Yankees to sign him on February 12th of 2015. Unfortunately for Freicer, this contract wouldn't be part of the historic 2014 spending spree, as he'd be offered a measly $10,000 in bonus. But with much less opportunity elsewhere, he signed with New York and prepared for the Dominican Summer League. In his first professional season at the age of 19, Perez did fairly well, throwing 69 innings, finishing with a 3.23 ERA. Most importantly, his metrics stood strong, posting a 23% strikeout rate, 48% ground ball rate, and only a 6% walk rate. Despite these solid numbers, Freicer still remained under the radar due to the massive international free agent class. This actually seemed to be a positive, as it kept the top prospect expectations in check and allowed the Yankees to slowly develop them. With this ideology in mind, New York opted to promote the young talent to short season A-ball and leave him there for all of 2016. This was predictably a learning curve for the now 20-year-old Perez as he faced off against mostly top college draft picks from that year. Not to say his velocity still wasn't impressive, but it was not as nearly effective against other top prospects accustomed to the speed. His lack of command with his secondaries began to show, resulting in a 10% walk rate, offering up 4.3 free bases per 9 innings. Thankfully, his strikeout rate remained at a healthy 21%, proving his stuff was still good. It was just an issue of command. He would end the year at the 4.47 ERA and 52 innings pitched, sneaking him into the number 29 spot on the Yankees' top prospect list. Heading into the 2017 season, scouts had finally gotten some good looks at the young fireballer and had all agreed on one thing. Once he figures out a plus secondary, he will fly through the ranks. Most of his walks were due to hitters timing out his fastball, resulting in multiple foul balls until he had inevitably delivered a flat slider out of the zone. 2017 was going to be a big year for Perez to prove to scouts and management alike that he could develop at least one above-average secondary to complement his already plus fastball. And he did just that. The 2017 season was a prolific breakout year for Perez as he posted a career-best 10-3 record for the full season at Charleston. His ERA now sat at an impressive 2.84 over 123 innings pitched, while pumping his strikeout rate to 23% and lowering his walk rate to 9%. Lastly, his ground ball rate spiked back up to 43%, proving that even when his stuff was hit, it would result in weak contact. Despite it being the best season so far, he still hadn't fully answered scouts' main question. Which breaking ball would he progress? Instead of focusing on developing one or the other, Perez attempted to bring up both his curveball and slider in one season, resulting in an average curveball with plus late bite at times, and an improved slider that now graded as MLB average. The curveball clearly graded out as the better of the two, but it was also more inconsistent. The slider had less break and still lacked velocity, but if developed properly, it would complement his fastball much better. His changeup remained above average despite its lack of movement simply due to its plus deception. This certainly confused scouts when grading him, as it was clear to everyone one pitch needed to go for now. But should it be the closer to plus curveball or the average slider that would pair better with his fastball in the future? With this disagreement aside, Freicer would still land just outside the top 10, securing the 11th spot in the Yankees' top prospect list. Heading into the 2018 season, Perez had more eyes on him than ever. With reports of triple-digit fastballs and the possibility of jumping multiple ranks in 1 year, the pressure and expectations were at an all-time high. But unfortunately, the rising talent would meet an untimely bump in the road. While pitching for High-A Tampa, his once dominant fastball would fall to a below-average low 90s offering with no movement. This resulted in him getting shelled for 20 runs in 25 innings pitched. With a lack of production and a newly found shoulder pain, the Tarpons placed Freicer on the disabled list less than a month into the season. He'd spend the remainder of the summer attempting to rehab the persistent injury, but to no avail, eventually opting for surgery in late 2018. Disappointingly, this would mean the once rising prospect would have to sit out the whole 2019 season aimed to make his return in 2020. Fortunately, reports came out early that his once triple-digit fastball had returned early in his post-surgery rehab process. This was exciting, as the now 23-year-old flamethrower had much to prove upon his return. Due to the surgery and the rehab process, he had now missed nearly 2 years of breaking ball development and would have to make big steps going forward. But as we all know, the 2020 season was not a good year for baseball, as minor league season would be canceled and prospects' value would now be looked at under a microscope. So now, nearly 3 years since his last professional outing, Perez was no longer a ranked prospect and was fighting for relevance in a stacked Yankees farm system. 2021 had to be the year he proved himself, as he was now 25 years old and lagging behind those younger than him. Unfortunately, his shoulder injury reappeared, hurting both his velocity and command. This led to him throwing 16 innings across 13. Yes, you heard that right. 13 different appearances. In those 16 innings, he'd give up a total of 16 free bases, 13 hits, and only log 11 strikeouts. At this point, it was clear to New York that the once promising 18-year-old had become an injury-plagued 25-year-old with little upside. Unsurprisingly, Freicer elected for free agency in November of 21, as it was unlikely the Yankees would re-sign him, and sadly, that would be the end of his professional baseball career. Though it is not explicitly stated, I'd have to assume his shoulder issues prevented any team from taking a chance on him. So now we're at the point in the video where I give my thoughts. First, I'd like to state as always, I hope he is doing well and has been able to follow other passions in life now that baseball seems to be over for him. After a quick look at his Instagram, it appears he's moved back to Santiago and has been enjoying time with friends and family. Now, in terms of his baseball career, my honest thoughts are things actually couldn't have gone much better. Okay, I get it. Crazy thing to say given what happened, but hear me out. Freicer was signed on a minuscule $10,000 contract during a period in time where his organization had their main focus on 10 other high-profile signees. Given his unique circumstance, he was given plenty of time in the lower ranks to potentially develop properly and not to be rushed to Double-A, where higher-end prospects will sometimes be pushed through despite poor performance due to the large amount the org has invested into them. If this happened to Freicer, I'm positive it would have resulted in poor performance and negative media attention. Perez was clearly special talent, and like myself and many others had an injury end his career. It's very sad, but it's a reality we have to accept. The good news is it happens sooner than later. What many fans do not realize is that minor leaguers often make less than minimum wage. Without a large signing bonus to nest on, it's unrealistic to scrape by month to month during the season and to work 2 jobs all offseason just to make ends meet. With his injury history and age, I think he made the right call to step away from the game and pursue a different career. With that said, it definitely would have been a movie-worthy story if he made it to the bigs. And that's about it for today, guys. I hope everyone enjoyed this installment of the What Happened series. This video was requested by Malik Hagan 4983, and if you have any former prospects you'd like me to cover, leave a comment below. Lastly, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like the video and subscribe for weekly videos posted every Wednesday. Have a great rest of your day and a great 2024.